In the studio, it is Senator John Horhn. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's good to have you. You want to catch your breath here? We only got a quick segment, so we'll get some coffee after this one. As a matter of fact, let me do this. The catch up on the municipal elections, they happen this year.
In April.
It'll be here before you know it. Here's the update I have. Municipal elections are fast approaching in the state. Dr. Steve Dimitropoulos, who's been on the air many times, Mayor of Pascagoula, has said that he is not going to be running for re-election. Dimitropoulos cited the increasing demand as global pandemic has put on his medical practice as a reason he felt he could no longer serve in the office of mayor. In the story number 2, 18-year-old Mississippi man from Oxford said he plans to run for mayor of his home city. Brandon Pettis told the Oxford Eagle his mayoral campaign's platform focuses on the economy. He's 18 years old. Pettis told the newspaper he's focused on the business aspect of life and has been paying close attention to the city's budget over the last several years. And I thought that was pretty good because I was taught in Shaw Public Schools that several means 3 or 4, so that would mean Mr. Pettis was concerned with the Oxford municipal budget when he was about 14 years old. So
he's serious.
he's serious. 2019 graduate of high school, Oxford High School, said he plans to file for office next week. He will run as an independent as well as the mayor, and you've heard that a little bit earlier. And the other one is the former firefighter is the latest throwing his hat in the ring to be the next mayor of Jackson. Ken Wilson, 38 years old, worked for the Jackson Fire Department for 10 years. As of now, he will face off against Mayor Lumumba Wanda Evers, the daughter of Charles Evers, and West Jackson native Patty Patterson. The deadline to qualify is February the 6th, so Senator John Horhn still has some time.
In your dreams, Paul.
You're not going to do it?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so, or you haven't made up your mind yet?
My wife's made up my mind for me.
That would do it, wouldn't it?
I think that's a no.
Well, what do you think about that? I mean, as far as his tenure here and successes or non-successes.
Well, the mayor has he's very likable.
Mm-hmm.
He's very eloquent, and he has a good patois, so to speak.
Yeah. A little charisma.
It was very charismatic. I don't know that he's been able to accomplish as much as the average citizen would like, but I don't see anybody out there who can beat him.
Really? Isn't the number one thing is just getting crime under control?
Oh, I think that is else. Above all else the number one issue in the city.
Would you think he's been successful at that?
No.
Then why would he be the leading candidate right now?
Well, for one thing, he was able to get a settlement in that Siemens deal, and a bunch of attorneys from Birmingham as well as here in Jackson took about $30 million to the House, and I think that he can easily raise about $1 million from those contributors if he so chose, and having that kind of war chest at his disposal makes him hard to beat.
When we had Mike Hurst on the other day, it was a little disappointment that he didn't work closely with those guys to try to get some additional funds to put more police on the streets. And why was that?
Well, you have to remember the mayor's career. He is a criminal defense attorney. Mm-hmm. His father was a criminal defense attorney, and so he I think, has a different attitude about policing and about law enforcement.
Well, so far that hasn't worked out to decrease crime.
No.
Well, I don't know of anything else that's not that's above and beyond that concern from the citizens of Jackson.
Well, when you read the paper and it tells you that our crime rate is higher than Memphis and New Orleans, it is a cause for concern.
It's one of the top in the United States of America.
Yes.
Per population.
Per population, you're right.
So, I mean, who wants 4 more years of that? Do you see some other people coming out and
I don't know.
Throwing their hat in the ring?
Jackson is a fickle town. Mm-hmm. We'll reelect you if we like you, and we won't support you if we don't.
The other part of that is, what do you think the new census is going to show when we get that in, as far as the city of Jackson?
Population decrease.
I mean, we know that, but how much?
I don't
It's
know.
been a massive.
I'm hearing that we're somewhere around 172,000 about now. So in the last 25 years, we've gone from 250,000 people to about 172,000.
That's amazing.
And it seems that anybody who can get out of Jackson is getting out of Jackson. But there's a loyal faction of Jacksonians who don't want to leave the city, who want to see it succeed. And I think there's a lot of frustration out there because of that.
Two things to turn it around is going to be school choice, number one. Well, number one, cut the violence. Make it where people can raise their family and they know they're safe. And number two, school choice. If that happens, there will be an explosion because of the real estate values in Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know that school choice is so much of an attractor. Because
really?
We've had, I think, 3 or 4 charter schools that have been established in Jackson.
How many people? You can't fit a population of people moving in into charter schools. We don't have enough.
No, you don't. You don't. So you're saying school choice to be able to go
anywhere you
like.
want to. Yeah, if it's in East Jackson, there's a better school than West Jackson. The people in West Jackson can go there. Let it be competition. We see this all the time. I know in Madison County there are lines in Madison County across the street. In one place there is you got to go to Canton schools, in one place you go to Madison schools. Mm-hmm. The definition of the separation is so vast, you can't sell one house and you can sell the other.
Right.
Certainly, if you can't market it to a family that's got kids.
Well, there's no question that Jackson's population, in fact, JPS has really decreased in its population. At one time, about 10, 12 years ago, we had 32,000 students. Now we're down to about 21.
Yeah. John Horhn, Senator John Horhn, because there are questions about our capital city. We have ownership across the state because it is our capital. The other part of that, I was told by a notable person that there's probably not a single police officer, white, black, young, old, male, or female, that is not looking for a job somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. When you start your salary at $27,000 a year, I know I'm not going to strap on a six-shooter to go out and fight crime. We've got to increase the number of police officers that are in place, but also we've got to pay them more to be able to do their job. So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's not an enviable job.
And that ought to be the top priority, is putting more cops on the street and increasing the community policing as well as using technology to fight crime.
Well, what was that, Memphis? Memphis used $9 million to hire additional cops from that same program.
Yeah.
We mentioned that the other day when Mike Hurst was on. But anyway, another day in the House yesterday, but it was a big day before the House and the Senate resumed at 4:00, and that was the raising of the Mississippi flag officially. You were there. Your thoughts?
Yes. It was a big day for Mississippi, and I think it helps us to take a big step forward. We won't spend as much time looking in the rearview mirror as we will looking ahead, and I think that's great for our state. It's ironic that we saw the things going on in Washington last week, and a very prominent Confederate battle flag was being paraded around the Capitol.
I saw that.
And the good thing about Mississippi is we took ours down.
Because sooner or later that comparison would have been back on us one way or the other. It happened every single time.
Right.
But we know that wasn't a Mississippi flag.
No, it wasn't.
And
it was
it
a battle
wasn't
flag for the Confederacy.
Probably from Massachusetts.
Oh, I would think he's from somewhere up north.
somewhere up north. Lots of things to talk about, not only more on the flag, but also some of the things going on in his committee. He is chairman of Senate Labor Committee and also vice chairman of Senate Tourism. Tourism, hopefully 2021 is going to be a big year for us. Going to get back on track. The House, it is John Horhn, Senator John Horhn, District 26, Hines in Madison County, Chairman, Senate Labor Committee. You have any bills out there that you're working on that you've dropped?
Yeah, well, I always drop.
I know you
a lot of bills.
Not as many as Eric Fleming's, but you drop a lot.
Yeah, I do drop a lot. They tend to be concepts more than anything else.
Was that it? You told them you were going to do it, so you did it. Huh?
Yeah, well, we're going to bring back the Fresh Start bill, which we had last year. We're also going to try to bring back the bill that passed unanimously, 51-0 and 108 in the Senate and 118-0 in the House, only to be vetoed by Governor Reeves, which is the bill to provide some relief for ratepayers in Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it was a good bill.
Why did he veto that?
Well, I don't know. He
never gave a reason for it?
His veto message spoke about constitutionality.
Yeah.
His Twitter and Facebook account talked about giving Jackson politicians the ability to forgive the water bills in order to curry favor with Jacksonians, who are potential voters. So I don't know what the real reason for it was, but I think it might have had, there was a lot going on around that same time, and I don't know if it's part of the Hate Jackson movement that tends to pop its head up every now and then in the legislature and state government.
Well, wait a minute. It was unanimous by both, you said, didn't you? So where's the hate there?
First bill for involving Jackson that passed unanimously.
I'm trying to get to I'm trying to get to this. If he said it's constitutionally not acceptable, sounds like there was some legal language in there that. But did anybody ever go back and address this so the next bill will correct that?
Well, we're planning to talk to the Attorney General's office and to try to get some guidance there. We'll go back and read the veto message and see if there's anything that makes sense there.
What's the situation? Because I think more so than just about any major city in the South, this water situation is just crazy. Why? Is it the agency within the confines of the Jackson City?
I think that's part of it.
They just haven't collected the bills.
Well, it started out with the consent decree with EPA that put a whole lot of financial pressure on the city. Then we did the Siemens deal, which is a god-awful deal that never should have been entered into by the city of Jackson. And then there's a question of the implementation of the new system, and it went horribly bad. There were folks who I think obviously didn't know what they were doing, and Siemens didn't provide the proper training after the system was installed.
I got it. C-Smart text line, gas is up to $2.09 a gallon now. Is this the Biden effect already? I'm not sure if it is or not, but it is ironic. And one of the things that you will not have this time when gas gets to, even at $2.09, that's an average of $5 to $10 a tank more from the $1.52 to $1.50. But you will not have a guy there threatening the energy companies from the White House anymore. So it's going to be different and also be interesting to see how high it goes. But it's been creeping up. $2.09. Perez, what was it on the corner when you came in this morning?
$1.8789.
Some bills that were taken up yesterday, some Senate bills, and you can comment on any of these if you have a chance. Senate Bill 2626, an act to provide that the beginning with the 2021-22 school year, the State Board of Education shall replace the Common Core state standards with the ELA standards in place by several states, referred to Senate Education. Senate Bill 2235, to prohibit the possession of a weapon by certain misdemeanors, or misdemeanants, those who have were convicted of a misdemeanor. That's Judd B. Senate Bill 2246 to revise the penalty for simple possession of a smaller amount of methamphetamine.
Okay.
That's referred to Senate Judiciary B.
DOA.
I was a little surprised when I saw methamphetamine. Do they state how much methamphetamine you could have on you?
I have no idea about that.
I have no idea who the author of that is. We'll double check. Senate Bill 2246 for those who want to check it out. 2247 is to authorize the Secretary of State to designate certain employees for a concealed weapon permit to perform investigative or regulatory enforcement functions. So you would have some armed people at the Secretary of State. Senate Bill, I only got about three or four more. Senate Bill 2253 to provide the option of including a concealed carry permit as a notation of a driver's license or identification card.
Kind of makes sense.
So if you're on that identification, you're a concealed carry person.
Right. I think that's a good idea.
Senate Bill 2254 to provide that any person submitting a voter registration application must present certain documents to prove he or she her status as a U.S. citizen.
When are we going to get over that? I mean, voter fraud is not a problem in Mississippi.
Senate Bill 2257, an act to provide that an elected official's qualification as a candidate for public office shall be deemed a resignation and vacancy of the official's office and if the term of the public office is sought before the beginning of the term. In other words, you can't run and hold office.
DOA.
DOA. Yeah. And Senate Bill, no matter what committee it comes from, is DOA.
It's DOA.
Senate Bill, you heard it from John. Senate Bill 2259, this is the final one, to revise the penalties for sale of controlled substances within a certain distance from a school. Judd B.
Well, criminal justice reform is going to be a big topic again this year. We got a bill through the process, and the governor vetoed it. So I believe the Judd B, Judd A, and it'll be Judd B and the Corrections Committee chairman are working to try to tighten up what we sent over to the governor last time.
But you sidestepped that, though. I mean, you didn't say DOA on this one. In other words, what it's saying that you could...
I think it's going to be part of a comprehensive look at...
So you're okay with that?
No, I'm not okay personally, but I think that...
If you're selling a controlled substance, my question to this, is this tied in with... And I'm not sure who did this, the Senate bill on this one. Well, it was Judd B., but is this part of the making sure that everything that the medical marijuana people need is taken care of?
Well, no,
I don't know, but you laugh, and I'm serious though. But in other words, let me read it again: to revise the penalties for sale of a controlled substance or substances within a certain distance from schools.
Yeah, it doesn't say whether you revise the penalties upward or downward.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. It really doesn't say that. So the only thing that saw action yesterday was something that was passed, and it was a Hobb Bryan bill. Yeah. Explain that to me.
Well, as I understand it, it just gives a little bit more prominence to the issue of mental health and provides a means whereby an advisor for services for mental health will be reposited in the Department of Finance and Administration.
Is that a new position, or is that a position?
It's a new position, and I think we take them out from under state bid laws, if I remember correctly.
Is there any other bills out there that will do readjustments as far as the health department right now?
I don't know. That's a good question, and if it happens, it'll come through the Public Health and Welfare Committee. But I've not heard any.
We got a long way to go as far as the availability to put bills in there.
Yeah, so. And I think the deadline is tomorrow on requests for general bills and constitutional amendments. So we have,
but not appropriations. But
no, it's just general bill deadline to request that a legislation be drafted. The deadline is tomorrow.
But the actual how do you define the request versus the absolute deadline?
Well, the request to legislative services has to be made by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
And then the deadline to drop the bill is another week or so.
That's what I was asking. Okay, it's another week or so.
Sure.
Final segment with the one and only John Horhn, who says he will not be a candidate for mayor of Jackson unless he can talk his wife into it, but that's another subject. I'll tell you who I was thinking about, because we were talking off the mic about people that remind you of Donald Trump. You said Kirk Fordyce, but I got another one for you. And we'll talk about that in the final segment. Let's get back in the Trustmark Studios. John Horhn's with us. John, we were talking about people who were reminded of Donald Trump and that mentality, and you were saying Kirk Fordyce because you were there when Fordyce was in.
Yep.
A lot of the same strong-minded, strong-willed. But I was thinking of Frank Melton.
Perfect. Spot on.
Isn't it?
Spot on.
Because you never know what tomorrow brings.
Absolutely.
That was a period of time. And I had him on the air for so long, and he's a character.
Yeah.
He was a character, man.
What will he do next?
But he believed in the private sector. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget one of those things. He was so outraged when he could not tear those buildings down, and he had to go through the red tape.
What do you mean I can't take my sledgehammer over there?
As a matter of fact, I think we still got that sledgehammer song in the archives. It was amazing, but here was a guy who came from the private sector, and he says, look, I'm not going to take all these rules and regulations. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. And for some reason, I thought about him a few seconds ago when we were talking about that, and I thought, man, that was spot on for him. So, Medicaid expansion, what do you think? Is it going to be entertained this year? Is most people, as far as the leadership, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but DOA?
I'm hearing talk. The insurance commissioner, I understand, is having serious conversations with CMS in Washington, at Health and Human Services. I know that Senator Bryan, the chairman of Public Health and Welfare, has been studying the issue, but I don't think that he plans to bring out any bill to speak to that. So I think we're inching closer to it, but I don't see it this year.
Prison reform to go on. I see some things already happening on that.
I think we'll see prison reform come back, and I think we'll see a bill come out, and hopefully the governor will sign it.
Anything in your committee as far as the tourism that you'd like to see?
Just to strengthen it, continue to strengthen it. We've got another CARES iteration, and hopefully we can push some of that money over to support our tourism organizations. So I think that we need a big hit. Either an attraction or an event to come up, but we don't have enough tools in our arsenal to really make tourism explode in Mississippi. We've got to come up with something, whether it's an event or an activity.
Any word at all about this project down on the coast, in Biloxi, as far as the big hotel and all of that? As far as
you hear that all the time, and I don't know what the progress has been recently with that particular project.
Yeah. Altogether, though, the numbers for last month for December look good. I understand we're $300 million over estimate, so that's pretty good. That's good news.
Well, the CARES money certainly was a big help, and I think a lot of folks got involved with home improvement projects while we've been in this pandemic, and online shopping, I think, has gone up.
Well, I'm going to ask you about this. DOA, is the sports betting online going to be DOA?
Not close enough to that to really think about it, and I haven't given it any thought. But we've done some interesting things with sports betting in the last couple of years, so it's possible.
All right, here it is. And I had it written down here. What did I do with it? I knew I shouldn't have done that. So I think it's $615 million, Perez. $615 million now. Here it goes. It is. The $615 million tonight to be given away.
Wow.
Oh, that's what it is as far as
if anything is an unqualified success, our lottery legislation has been very successful for the state.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
We
hit
haven't
the $80 million in the middle of the year.
I was against it for so many years because of what it would do to those in the lower income. We haven't done a study on that yet, but
no. I don't know that we've seen much fallout amongst the poor who might go out and buy a lottery ticket.
Well, I'm glad that you can't put it on a charge card or on a credit card. Yeah. You can $550 million. If you don't win the $615 million tonight, then you've got another chance tomorrow night with the Powerball. It is $550 million. Now, if neither one of those hit, it's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
But about this time now, you would see lines going across the river bridge at Vicksburg, would you not?
Yes, absolutely.
And
so
we'll be able to keep that money
in Mississippi.
So, final thoughts, sir.
Well, I think we've got to get past January 20th, in this country, and the FBI has been saying that every state needs to be on high alert at their capitals. I think that we are going to see some installation of medical marijuana by the August deadline, but right now progress is moving very slowly. I think that we will see a teacher pay increase this year.
This year?
Yes.
Medical marijuana thing is still in the Supreme Court. We got to figure out, and they've got to make that announcement one way or the other. But it's going to be interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's before that date rolls in, if there's not other objections that may hit the court. We will see.
We'll see.
John Horhn, thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Paul.
We have.